Welcome back to Red and Blue. I am Major Garrett. With the 2024 presidential election just about a year and a half away, Democratic and Republican Party members are considering who should be nominated. CBS News chief election and campaign correspondent Robert Costa joins us here in D.C. with more. Robert, you talked to Khanna today. For those of us who remember the 2020 campaign, he was an avid supporter of Bernie Sanders, and you asked him whether or not President Biden, should he announce for re-election, will face a progressive challenger. Let's take a listen.
If he runs, do you believe there's any chance he could face a progressive challenger?
I mean, obviously, it's an open election. People are always going to run. There are always usually 50 to 100 candidates. Do I think that he's going to face a serious challenge? No, I don't.
Senator Bernie Sanders, I recently covered him as he gave a speech on the state of the working class. He doesn't seem to be angling for any kind of primary challenge in any way. Is that your assessment of where Sanders is as well?
Yes. You know, one of the things that Sanders got an unfair rap on in both 2016 and 2020 is somehow he wasn't a team player or a good Democrat. Senator Sanders, at the end of the day, cares deeply about the Democratic Party and the cause, and has been a great team player, actually, since President Biden's election. And I know that he's not going to go challenge President Biden.
So, Bob, after the Sunday shows this week in Washington, it's not really on the progressive left that there are questions about anyone who might challenge President Biden. It's Joe Manchin.
Exactly right, Major. It's intriguing that someone who was co-chair of Bernie Sanders' 2020 presidential campaign is saying that he does not expect any serious challenge from the left should President Biden seek re-election. He believes Sanders wouldn't do it. Khanna has been mentioned as someone himself who has potential presidential ambitions. He has said he would get behind Biden. But when I asked him about Manchin, could a business-friendly centrist Democrat get in the race? He said he did not rule it out. It should not be ruled out. Very interesting answer that Biden now, when you look at the Sunday shows, facing criticism about his handling of the documents, not from progressives, but from more traditional Democrats.
Another race that's gathering a lot of attention this morning. It gathered a little bit of attention early last week when news broke by CBS and others. Ruben Gallego is going to run for the Democratic nomination for the Senate in Arizona. He put up an ad this morning, a digital ad. Let's take a look at it.
If you're more likely to be meeting with the powerful than the powerless, you're doing this job incorrectly. I'm sorry that politicians have let you down, but I'm going to change that. I'm Ruben Gallego. I'm running to be the senator of Arizona.
Nothing more common in Washington, Bob, than for one politician to say other politicians have let people down.
And this is not going to be a usual race in Arizona. You're looking at someone, and Senator Sinema, Kyrsten Sinema, who is now an independent. She used to be with the Democrats. So if Gallego gets into this race, he's now in the race. Does that mean it splits the Democratic vote, the independent left-leaning vote, and does that pave the way for a Republican? Maybe former Governor Doug Ducey gets into the Senate race. I'm sure Mitch McConnell would like to see that for Senate Republicans. Gallego's entry is not surprising. He sat down with CBS News recently for a long interview. He's been moving towards this race for a long time. But it's hard to read the politics of Arizona at this exact moment. Could Gallego unite Democrats around him and try to just box out Sinema and make her compete for the Republican vote versus the Democratic vote? It all remains to be seen.
And one of the things that keeps this conversation very lively is we don't know, do we, exactly what Kyrsten Sinema's intentions are.
That's right. She has not made clear that she's running for re-election. It's expected because she moved to be an independent that she's going to try to avoid a Democratic primary. It's very obvious that when you become an independent, you're removing yourself from the party structure that might try to get you out of the nomination. So she will make her decision in time. I would expect her, based on my conversations with her colleagues in recent weeks, that she would run as an independent, and she's going to hope that the Democrats on the donor level don't throw enormous amounts of money behind Congressman Gallego.
Bob Costa, thank you so very much.